All right, let's talk about something that can cause a real headache for so many of us, the UK tax return. In this guide, brought to you by the experts over at Pro Tax Accountant, we're going to break it all down for the 2024/25 tax year and give you the simple, clear answers you've been looking for.
That time of year again, right? You feel that little knot in your stomach, the tax return dread. You start asking yourself, do I really have to go through all this? It's a stressful question, I get it, but I promise, by the end of our chat today, you'll know exactly where you stand. Okay, so in this discussion, brought to you by ProTax Accountant, we're going to make this super simple. And I've got some good news for you right off the bat. Most people, and I mean most people in the UK, don't actually need to file one. So you might just be able to relax. Let's find out if you're one of them.
So, what are we even talking about here? Well, it's a system called self-assessment. See, if you're an employee, you're probably on what's called payee. That's pay as you earn. Your boss just sorts out the tax for you from your paycheck. Easy. But self-assessment is for all the other income that HMRC doesn't know about automatically. It's basically you telling them, hey, I earned this extra money and here's the tax I owe on it. Okay, Section 1, earning on your own. Let's dive into the absolute biggest reason why people end up having to file a tax return. And that's when you're earning money for yourself outside of that typical 9-to-5 job. Okay, I want you to remember one number. Just one. And that number is £1,000. Seriously, commit this to memory. If you're self-employed, this is the magic number for the tax year. Earn a penny over this from your own hustle, and guess what? HMRC wants to hear from you. So what does that actually mean? What kind of work are we talking about? Well, honestly, pretty much everything. If your total income from freelance work is over that £1,000 mark, you've got to register. Let's take Anya, for example. She's a graphic designer based in London. She does a couple of small projects, earns, say, 1,200 quid. Boom, she has to file. And yeah, this absolutely includes your side hustle. Whether you're driving for a rideshare app, delivering food, or selling cool stuff you made online, it all counts and it all adds up. And here's a pro tip, and please listen closely because this trips so many people up. That £1,000 limit, that's for your gross income, your turnover, the total amount of cash you brought in before you take away any of your costs. So imagine you spent £1,050 on supplies, but you only made sales of £1,100. Your profit is only 50 quid, right? Doesn't matter. Because your turnover was over £1,000, you still have to file that return. That is a crucial difference. Okay. Now for a really important exception to that rule. Are you a partner in a business partnership? If the answer is yes, then you can just forget about that £1,000 rule entirely. It doesn't apply to you. You have to send in a tax return no matter what your income is. All right, so that's earning money from your own work. But what about when your money starts making money for you? Now, this next part is crucial for homeowners and investors because sometimes you can have income you didn't even realize was taxable. Let's break down the two big ones here. Income from property, and something called capital gains. For renting out a property, it's that same magic number again, £1,000. If your rental income is over that, you've got to file. But for capital gains, that's the profit you make when you sell something valuable, like a second home or some shares. It's a bit different. You only have to file if your profit is more than the annual allowance. And listen to this. For the 2024-25 tax year, that allowance has been chopped right down to just £3,000. It's caught a lot of people by surprise. Now, while we're on the topic of property, did you know there's a pretty amazing tax break called the Rent a Room scheme? This is a great one. Yeah, get ready for this number, £7,500. You can earn up to £7,500 completely tax-free just by renting out a furnished room in your own home. And the best part? If you earn less than that, you don't even have to tell HMRC about it. It's a fantastic incentive. Okay, so it's not just property. There are a few other common moneymakers you need to watch out for. We're talking about things like dividends from shares you own, interest from your savings accounts, and any money you're earning from overseas. Each of these has its own set of rules and its own tax-free allowance. And it's so important you know that these allowances have been changing a lot recently. For this 2024/25 tax year, the tax-free dividend allowance, it's been cut in half again, down to just £500. So if your dividends are more than that, you have to declare it. For savings interest, what you get depends on your tax band. Basic rate taxpayers get £1,000 tax-free, but if you're a higher rate taxpayer, that drops to £500. And if you're an additional rate taxpayer, you get nothing. Zero. Okay, so we've talked about earning money and investing money, but that's not all.
there are some personal situations that can automatically mean you have to do a tax return, no matter where the cash is coming from. And stay with me here, because this next point is one that catches a lot of people out.
This one is huge. The very moment your total taxable income goes over £100,000 a year, you have to file a tax return. It's not optional. Now, why is that? Well, it's because your personal allowance, the amount everyone gets to earn before paying any tax at all, it starts to shrink. For every £2 you earn over that 100K mark, you lose £1 of your allowance. And self-assessment is how HMRC figures out how much extra tax you now owe because of that.
All right, next up is a well-known tax trap for families. It's called the High Income Child Benefit Charge. The rules have just changed, so listen up. Basically, if you or your partner earn over £60,000 a year, that's up from $50,000, and you're claiming child benefit, the person who earns more must file a tax return. It's non-negotiable. That's how you pay back some or maybe all of that benefit.
But here's a funny thing. Sometimes you might actually want to file a tax return, even when HMRC says you don't have to. Why on earth would you do that? Well, it can be a really useful tool. You might do it to claim tax relief on your pension contributions, to prove you're self-employed so you can get something like maternity allowance, or even to top up your national insurance to make sure you get a better state pension later on. So you see, it's not always about paying more tax.
Okay, so you've listened to all of this and you've realized, yep, that's me, I need to file a return. What now? Well, the next step is absolutely critical, and that's knowing the deadlines. Please pay very close attention here because getting these dates wrong can be a really, really costly mistake.
So grab your calendar because these dates are set in stone. For the 2024/25 tax year, you need to be registered for self-assessment by the 5th of October 2025. If you're old school and doing a paper return, the deadline is Halloween, October 31st. But for almost everyone filing online, the big one, the final deadline, is midnight on the 31st of January 2026. That's the day you have to have filed and paid what you owe.
And what happens if you miss that deadline? Even by 1 minute, a £100 fine, instantly. It's automatic. And here's the kicker. You get that fine even if you don't owe any tax. It's a penalty for being late, pure and simple.
And believe me, that £100 is just the beginning. After 3 months, they start adding daily penalties. After 6 months and then a year, the fines get even bigger based on how much tax you owe. It can spiral out of control really fast. So please take these dates seriously. Look, I know we have covered a lot of ground here. Thresholds, allowances, scary deadlines, penalties. It is completely understandable if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. But if you take one thing away from this whole discussion, let it be this. You don't have to do this all on your own.
So if you're feeling even a little bit unsure, or you just want that peace of mind that comes from knowing it's all been done correctly, the smartest thing you can do is talk to a professional. The team at Pro Tax Accountant lives and breathes this stuff. They can take all that stress off your shoulders and make sure everything is filed right and on time. Their contact details are on your screen right now. Give them a call or drop them an email. And for more simple guides just like this one, make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining me.